Have you ever felt like nobody truly understands you? You can be surrounded by people and still feel completely alone. You smile when someone asks, "How are you?" You say, "I'm fine." But deep down, you're carrying things you haven't told anyone. Maybe you're tired. Maybe you're disappointed. Maybe you're waiting for an answer to a prayer you've prayed 100 times. Maybe you're hurting because someone you trusted walked away. And the hardest part is that you don't even know how to explain what you're feeling. But listen carefully. Just because people don't understand your pain doesn't mean your pain is unseen. Because there is someone who knows the thoughts you never say out loud. Someone who sees the tears you hide. Someone who knows the battle behind your smile. God understands you. And today I want you to remember exactly why. People see your outside, but God sees your heart. People may see you going to work, taking care of your family, answering messages, and going through your daily routine. But God sees what happens when the room becomes quiet. He sees the moments when you sit alone and wonder, where is my life going? He sees the nights when you can't stop thinking. He sees the disappointment you don't talk about. He sees the prayer that you are almost afraid to pray again because you're scared the answer might still be no. Psalm 139 reminds us that God knows us completely. He knows when we sit down and when we rise. He knows our thoughts. He knows our words before they are even spoken. Think about what that means. You don't have to explain yourself perfectly to God. You don't have to find the right words. You don't have to pretend to be stronger than you are. God already knows. And He doesn't know you from a distance. He knows you personally. He knows the parts of yourself that you show the world. And He knows the parts you desperately try to hide. Sometimes we think we need to come to God only when we're strong. We think we need to pray when our faith is perfect. We think we need to have everything figured out before we can talk honestly with Him. But Scripture gives us a different picture. Look at David. David wasn't afraid to bring his emotions before God. He cried out. He questioned. He was afraid. He felt abandoned. And yet, he continued turning toward God. That's important because faith doesn't mean you never feel confused. Faith doesn't mean you never become exhausted. Faith doesn't mean you never ask, "God, why is this happening?" Sometimes faith simply means that even when you don't understand God, you continue to seek Him. So if you're struggling today, don't hide your heart from God. Tell Him, "God, I'm tired. God, I'm scared. God, I don't understand. God, I don't know what to do." You don't need a perfect prayer. You need an honest heart because God isn't impressed by complicated words. He wants a relationship with you. And maybe your pain isn't only about loneliness. Maybe someone walked away, someone you trusted, someone you thought would always be there. And now you're asking yourself, what did I do wrong? Maybe you've replayed the conversation over and over. Maybe you're wondering why they changed. Maybe you keep checking your phone hoping for a message that never comes, and you may never receive the explanation you want. But here's something you need to remember. Someone's inability to understand your value does not determine your value. People can misunderstand you. People can judge you. People can leave you. People can even tell a story about you that isn't true, but God knows the truth. And when everyone else misunderstands your heart, God doesn't need an explanation. He already knows. Jesus Himself experienced rejection. He was misunderstood by people who were close to Him. He was betrayed by someone in His own circle. He was rejected. He was falsely accused. He was abandoned by friends in His darkest hour. So when you come to God with the pain of being misunderstood, you're not coming to someone who cannot relate to suffering. You're coming to the one who understands rejection, loneliness, betrayal, and pain. Maybe you're also wondering why God hasn't answered your prayer. You've prayed, you've waited, you've asked, and nothing seems to be changing. That's one of the hardest seasons of faith. Because when God seems silent, your mind starts creating explanations. Maybe God doesn't care. Maybe I've done something wrong. Maybe my prayer doesn't matter. But God's silence should not automatically be interpreted as God's absence. Think about a seed beneath the soil. From the surface, nothing appears to be happening. You can't see the roots. You can't see the growth. You can't see what is happening beneath the ground. But that doesn't mean nothing is happening. Sometimes your life can feel exactly like that. You look around and see no progress, no answer, no open door, no obvious change. But you don't know what God may be doing beneath the surface. That's why Proverbs 3:5-6 reminds us to trust in the Lord, rather than relying completely on our own understanding. You may not understand the process, but you can still choose trust. And sometimes the greatest act of faith is simply saying, "God, I don't understand what you're doing, but I still trust you." There may be people watching this right now who haven't cried in front of anyone for a very long time. You've learned how to keep going. You've learned how to smile. You've learned how to say, "I'm okay," but maybe you're not okay. And that's something God already knows. Psalm 56 speaks about God being aware of our tears. What a powerful picture. The tears that other people never see, God sees. The prayers you whisper when nobody is around, God hears. The moments when you feel like you're carrying the entire world on your shoulders, God knows. So don't be ashamed of your tears. Don't think your weakness makes you less valuable to God. Sometimes the strongest prayer isn't a long prayer. Sometimes it's simply, Jesus, help me. 4 words, but they can come from the deepest part of your heart. And when you don't know what else to say, you can still turn toward God. Maybe your life doesn't look the way you imagined it would. Maybe you thought you'd be further ahead by now. Maybe you thought you'd already have the relationship, the career, the family, the financial stability, or the answer to your prayer. And now you're comparing your life to everyone else's. You scroll through social media and see people celebrating. Someone got married, someone bought a house, someone started a successful business, someone is traveling, someone seems to have everything together, and you look at your own life and think, what's wrong with me? But remember this, you are seeing their highlight reel while living inside your own unfinished story. Don't allow comparison to convince you that God has forgotten you. Your timeline is not everyone else's timeline, and God's work in your life doesn't have to look like His work in someone else's life. You may be in a chapter you don't understand, but a chapter isn't the whole story. David had a wilderness before the throne. Joseph had a prison before the palace, and many of the greatest stories in Scripture passed through seasons of waiting before the purpose became clear. So don't judge your entire life by the chapter you're currently living. If you're watching this right now and you've been feeling misunderstood, I want you to hear this. You don't have to prove your worth to everyone. You don't have to make everyone understand you. You don't have to chase people who decided to walk away. You don't have to explain every tear. You don't have to pretend that you're never afraid. And you don't have to carry tomorrow today. Take your heart to God. Bring Him the questions. Bring Him the disappointment. Bring Him the loneliness. Bring Him the dreams that didn't happen. Bring Him the things you don't understand. Because God isn't asking you to pretend. He's inviting you to trust Him. Maybe you feel forgotten, but you are not forgotten. Maybe you feel invisible, but you are not invisible. Maybe you feel like nobody understands you, but God does. He knows your heart. He knows your story, He knows what you're carrying, and He knows where your story is going. So tonight, before you go to sleep, or whenever you're watching this, take a moment, put your phone down, take a deep breath, and talk to God. You don't need perfect words. Just be honest. Say, God, you know me. You know what I'm going through. You know what I'm afraid of. You know what I've been praying for. I don't understand everything right now, but I'm choosing to trust you. Give me strength for today and help me trust you with tomorrow. And remember this, people may misunderstand your silence. People may misunderstand your heart. People may misunderstand your journey, but God never needs an explanation for what He already knows. You are seen, you are known, and you are not forgotten. If this message spoke to your heart, subscribe to Grace and Truth Daily for more Bible-based encouragement, faith, and reminders of God's truth. And before you leave, remember one final thing. Nobody may understand everything you're going through, but God does, and you are never alone.